The drama continues with TikTok.
Dun, dun, dun.
And we're not talking about it being taken away. Hey, babe.
What's up, love?
So, it's been, what day is it?
Today is Wednesday.
We've got to do
This
better.
is a long-ass month.
It has been it's still January.
But I'm telling you, like, in real estate, like, it is, I never understood, because, I used to do the Friday song when I was a team leader, and these realtors used to be like, bro, there's no such thing as a Friday in real estate, yada, 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 and I was like, whatever, y'all, chill out.
Right.
That shit's real. Like, I literally cannot keep up with what day of the week it is. And my days are only measured by what I'm closing, when I'm having an open house, when I'm doing something real estate related. And fortunately, I got the little dry erase board in my office and I can keep up with everything. But damn, I literally cannot keep up with the days.
Yeah, this week has been...
What's your excuse?
Yeah, I have zero excuse. I think because I'm not doing anything, maybe that's why, that's my excuse. Actually, even though I am doing things, and this is the second week, this is the second time this month that I have cleaned the house. So I'm like, kind of
accomplished.
I'm feeling some type of way about that. I'm feeling a little pat on the back is deserving. I kind of feel like
I'll pat you on the butt later for
it should come with a prize. Like I should be able to go out and go get something for myself. Like there's a new sweatsuit I have in my cart online right now.
You must be getting ready to go back to the gym. Is that what you're getting ready? No. You're finally ready to get back in the gym?
Nope. This sweatsuit is strictly
I got back in the gym
for
today.
Lounging.
Okay, I got back in the gym today. First time in over 3 weeks.
What made you get back in the gym?
I don't know. I think
Is it what I said last night?
Well, I didn't like it.
I did that on purpose. You know that, right?
Duh.
I mean, okay.
Because my arms have not gotten any smaller. But actually, I think they have. But my back was hurting for a solid 2-3 weeks or whatever, and I finally got it cleared up a little bit. Going to the chiropractor a couple times, but I don't know, man. I think I've reached that point where it's like, okay, I'm sore. And I know that me being sore is because I'm not moving my body every day. Yeah. And I've gotten off the, with the babble. Like I just have, work's been crazy. A couple of these deals I got going right now, the lending process has just been a nightmare. So
these people that think they don't need a realtor to sell their house, like, okay. Like I get it because our last house we tried to sell by owner and we did, in fact, technically
we got lucky with a cash buyer, but they brought a realtor to the table,
and we used her to help us buy this house. So.
Is it possible? Yeah, but here's what happens: is you don't know what you don't know.
You just don't know how much it actually goes into it,
right? And I guarantee you, like there's stuff that's happening that could come back and bite you in the ass. You just don't know that you don't know, kind of thing. So anyhow.
But I've been staying busy, like with all of my classes and different communities, the thing that I'm paying for that you're like, what the hell else are we paying for? And so matter of fact, it's Wednesday, which is the 29th. So this is the new moon tonight. So I have something called Co-Create. And it's a session where we all get on Zoom, and it's during the new moon, like set intentions and like work through any kind of blocks and things like that we have. So
this is tonight?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I forgot to tell you about that. So I'll be doing that tonight, like 8 o'clock or something like that. So I really look forward to those things. This community I really enjoy. I've met some people that have the same type of human design that I do. And so it's kind of just interesting that we do experience really some of the same things. It's kind of crazy.
Meeting people and shit.
I know.
I'm impressed.
Now we don't have any, like I've not moved outside of this community.
Okay.
Why is it I get on
like
here
you're not like chatting on Facebook or anything like that?
No.
You aren't planning a vacation, family vacations?
Not yet. I mean, I possibly would, but I need somebody else to kind of take the lead on that.
Yeah.
If they take the lead and drag me along, I would go.
If let's say that you and one of these other ladies, y'all end up making a connection and all this stuff, and they were like, hey, what do you think about like us doing family vacation together? Would you do that?
I'd have to see, like, do I feel like we vibe really well and we're like really feeling like bestie vibes?
But yeah,
and then I would have to say, so like, what's your husband like, and what?
Thank you.
Kind of
good response.
Because I'm damn sure not bringing you along with somebody who you're not going to get along with because you're going to gripe and complain.
Good response. Even though I get along with most people, I will definitely complain about it up front.
You will.
Yeah. So we have some guests coming. Bro.
We have guests coming?
Okay, I know they can't see your toes, but my God, I'm glad. Please, if that camera If that camera goes down anymore, we're gonna
Leave
have
me
to.
alone. I'm not wearing sandals or anything like that,
So
so
we
leave me
have guests
alone.
coming
I
in
haven't had
this
them done.
weekend.
That right there is
Yep.
a. Do you know when I got that done last?
Circa 2007. When did you stop doing nails? It was around that time.
Actually, it was the
And
Halloween.
I
It was a
honestly,
Halloween party.
I'm not even bullshitting. Like, how do our sheets survive those toenails?
Well, first of all, they're not long by any means.
If mine were like that, you would be flipping out. So who do we
'cause
have
you're a
coming to?
guy.
Who do we have coming
They're not long.
to the house this weekend?
Amy, I almost said Amy and Courtney. That's not right.
Yep.
Amy and Aaron are coming. They have
Yep.
so they have a camper van, and so they
Amy's
are.
her cousin.
Amy's my
Aaron's her
cousin, and
husband.
so they're starting their 2025 winter, I guess.
Country tour.
Country tour. They start in Ohio and come down this direction, stay with us for a night or so, and then
Don't they head out west after that?
I think they are going down to Florida because
Okay.
Sarah is down there now, and I think they'll stop and see them for a day or two, and then probably head, out west. I don't know if Uncle Kenny is down there or not, but
So Aaron is able to work remotely, so he
Yeah.
will just kind of log in from his van. They have one of those Mercedes Sprinters, I think is what they're called.
I really am not sure.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, and it's just big enough for the two of them, and then their dog comes along with them as well.
Yeah,
so.
but Luna passed away.
No.
Yeah,
Did I know that? I think you remember.
you did know that. Yeah, and now if she listens to this podcast, freaking A, you're gonna
I'm
bring it up.
sorry.
Damn.
My bad.
Yeah.
Tell her don't listen to this. I forgot about that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did you see the comment I made on Courtney's? Courtney just lost her dog.
Yes. No, I did not see the comment.
I made a comment about it. You should go read it.
You want to just tell us?
No, I can't remember. I mean, I'll read it. Yeah, go ahead. No, anyways.
What am I going to go ahead and do?
Well, talk while I find it, because I thought one part of it was very interesting, and I'll tell you why. In fact, I'm going to read what she wrote, and I want you to tell me.
No, I haven't
that's way
seen it. She
too
posted
much.
because she was texting us that night when it right after it happened. It was late at night, and she had texted us, and I was just like there's no I don't have any words that I can actually. There's nothing I'm gonna say that's gonna make you feel any better, and I can't imagine. I do not look forward. Nobody looks forward to that, obviously, but I don't even want to think about that day happening.
So her dog's name was Raven, and this is what she. This is part of it. I won't read the whole thing, but it said, I had to comment after reading this. It said, Raven loved plushies, especially the ones she wasn't supposed to have. Her favorite seemed to be a sloth that was gifted to me as a stuffed dog gifted to Mom. Both, well, she always seemed to get them. Okay, so anyhow, I come on because the sloth thing really just kind of got me.
Right.
And I said, I can't even imagine. You guys gave her a great life, and I know that what she gave you was even more. And there must be something about sloths. I said, Lincoln, and I tagged you and Lauren. I said, Lincoln's sloth is the one toy that he has yet to destroy, and it's one he could easily tear to shreds. Instead, he carries it everywhere he goes, keeps it in his mouth to calm himself when someone walks in the house, and sleeps with it every night like it's a baby binky. Words cannot describe the impact our dogs have on each of us. I know she will be missed, but I know y'all are thankful for the incredible 13 years with her.
Golly,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I like when that day comes.
I'm not, yeah. And that sloth, there's something about that sloth that Lincoln, it's like his Bobby. Like we used to call.
It really truly is.
And I think that was the blanket. I'm guessing it's the blanket that my brothers and sisters used to have. We called it their Bobby. And that's what it is. He at nighttime when it's time to go to bed, if it's in the other room, he gets down off the bed.
Yeah.
He'll go find his sloth and he'll bring it back
And if it's upstairs, he'll get off the couch, come upstairs, tick, tick, tick,
he
and
knows
come right back.
he always knows exactly where it is.
Yeah, I'm saying.
And he'll go find it.
But we talked about this, I think, when we were at lunch or something the other day, where, when I was working in, manager positions and whatnot, I remember people used to call out of work for their dog,
same.
passing away, and I was like, come on,
Same.
Seriously, just come into work,
I really didn't have the empathy, and
No.
And I don't know that you can until you're in that position. You understand.
can't have
I'm
that
not
true
sure
empathy,
that you can
yeah.
have that true empathy. I mean,
Yeah.
I always said all the right things, like
Yeah,
I'm
of
so
course.
sorry, and I hate to hear that. And,
You're going to be back tomorrow.
Everything's gonna be fine. Like, yeah.
But I'm not going to lie to you.
But yeah, I'm gonna. Oh shit.
If something happens to either one of these two, it's a few days for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just sure enough a few days for me. So, anyhow,
There may be more tears for them than there might be for you.
I have a ton of men, when people lose a pet now, man, just the empathy is through the
It really is.
through the chart, so.
It hits me hard.
Yep.
Yeah. I love when, yep, yep, yep.
Yep, yep. It's like you when you try to end a phone call. It's so fucking annoying. You try to critique my phone calls, but
First
your
of all,
ass cannot say bye to somebody in a call. No,
I don't have any problem ending the
no,
call with
y'all
you
are
or
both like,
Lauren.
yeah,
I'm
okay.
like,
No,
okay, I gotta go.
okay,
Bye.
yeah, but you get you on another call, which you rarely
I was gonna
make
say, first
because
of all,
I have to make them
when
for
have
you.
I ever even been
Yeah,
on the phone
I have to make
recently?
them for you, and let me tell you why I have to make them for you.
Why?
Because it, I can say to you a million times, you catch more flies with honey, but your ass, for whatever reason, just turns into
I can't help
bitch
it.
mode.
It's not bitch mode. If that's what you were giving me, that is what you are going to get back.
But that
It
does
has a
no
hard.
good.
But
Your
with people, listen,
your
I
job
have
should be to overcome that and
no,
turn them
no, no, no,
around.
no, no. Their job, because they're on the phone, should be to be that way with me
Yeah.
immediately.
But you're trying to get what you want.
And they're not, and it's frustrating to me that they're not taught that.
I thrive in that. I challenge myself to
You
turn
really
their
do.
tone around
You
and
really
to get
do.
something for it. Something free or some bonus or some whatever that. Like I love that.
You
Which
do.
is probably why I love negotiating vehicles. You know, it's just something about that back and forth dialect. You know, telling you you're a rock star, you're awesome, they eat it up, man.
It makes me cringe when I hear
Yeah.
you do all that stuff.
But the shit works. I mean, it
It
really
seems
works.
to. It seems
Yeah.
to do pretty well. We were somewhere and you asked somebody, and I apologized for you. What was it? We were at we went to eat. We were at Outback, and you were asking about
Oh yeah.
and if they could do a little extra
Extra
dollop whipped cream, but I don't want to be charged for it. I was like, oh my god, the cringe
But I
that
said,
just went all through my
and I
entire
said, but if you
body
can't
right
do it,
then.
I understand. But if you can, I won't be upset. That's what I said. And guess what she
Oh.
said? You remember what she said?
I don't remember what
I
she said.
squirted every bit of that bottle on here for you.
That sounds dirty. First of all.
Well, she did. So
So yeah, I don't know. That makes me cringe. But you're right. It's not my strong suit. You would think that being in customer service, as long as I was, that I would be better about talking to people on the phone when I am said customer. But
you were much
not
better
happening.
when you had to. But then also too, you said
No, I'm great as far as me. If I'm
Yeah.
servicing you,
Yeah.
I'm great. But don't make me the customer and expect me to be sweet when you have an attitude. I cannot stand it.
Yeah.
It
So
will take
anyhow,
me so quickly.
I bet you haven't had a phone call in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, that's your
Department.
area. Yeah. We say that there are certain things I have to do and certain things you have to do, and that's not my department.
Yeah.
That is below my pay
Listen,
grade.
we both recognize our strengths and weaknesses.
Agreed.
You said below your pay
I
grade.
did say below my pay
Wow.
grade.
Jeez. Okay.
Oh God. Okay, so this week has been interesting.
Are we about to talk about the TikTok drama?
We're about to talk about
Yeah.
the TikTok drama, and I'm not talking about TikTok being banned because
But can we
did
talk
go
about
through
that real quick?
The TikTok ban?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know? So we saw these people trying to sell their iPhones, and for like 10,000, 15,000. I
did
saw GameStop was actually buying them for like 25G. Is there any truth to any of that? Do you know? I could see it being the case.
I think there is some truth to it, and I tried to sell mine. I'm like, who wants to give me $15,000 for my phone? I'll take it. I'll get rid of TikTok for $15,000. I
Yeah,
don't care.
absolutely. Because but I would not be surprised at all if some of these people who were just that addicted to it would pay that kind of money to get a phone.
I mean, supposedly.
It's insane.
Because supposedly, because it's no longer in the App Store, if they get a new phone, they cannot get TikTok. So
Yeah,
right now, if you
yeah.
go to buy a new phone, you can't get TikTok. Sorry. Sorry about your luck. You
So
can't
we're
have
not
it.
talking about that drama.
No, we're not talking
Okay.
about that drama. And people were talking about when TikTok did do the little ban for however long it was, that they lost all their drafts. I didn't lose. I have drafts in my phone still from TikTok.
Maybe they didn't know how to get to them. I don't know.
Maybe was I looking at TikTok now that I think about
I
it?
suck at drafts, though.
You do suck at drafts. God Almighty. You're like, oh, you got to take those off
That's
there.
why I
They're
just
driving me
that's
crazy.
why I just
I'm
have
like,
you do
what
it
do
for
you
me.
mean it's driving you crazy?
Okay, because
Just to see it
it's
there?
stuck there because you don't know, is it posted, is it not posted?
You do.
But
It literally says the word draft.
Okay,
Like, what do you think that means?
whatever. So anyhow, so tell us about this drama.
So, okay, so I guess day before last, I guess in the evening time, I don't know, I'm making dinner or something. And I just happened to look at my TikTok. I had posted a TikTok several days prior. And
What TikTok did you post several days
so I
prior?
made a TikTok. I saw it, Marriage and Martinis, that I follow them. and they post like funny, snarky kind of marriage stuff. And so like when I see one that they do that's cute, I send it to you and I'm like, we should make this. And most of the time we don't make it, but this one was one I could do by myself. I'm like, screw it. I don't have anything else to do right this second. I'm going to make this TikTok real quick because it's like literally 5 seconds worth of TikTok. And so
no talking, no nothing.
Nothing. No, it's literally, so what it is me with my legs propped up in front of the open oven, because it's the caption reads,
hold on. If you saw what Annie was wearing, you could tell she was not being thirsty. I mean,
right.
if so,
I
then
had
that
leggings.
was,
I had fleece line leggings with
Fleece
a sweatshirt. I think
socks
it might have
on.
been a snow day even.
Yeah,
It was.
Anyways, you weren't trying to look hot and sexy.
I literally don't even think I'd had a shower. I don't think I had any makeup on. Like, it was not cute. And so I'm sitting in a chair with my legs propped up on the oven with the oven door open. So the gist of it is, it was like my mom or my grandma told me that the way through a man's heart is through his stomach. And it said, so I'm warming up his dinner for him.
Warming up his favorite meal.
Yeah, warming up his favorite meal. Which, that would be like my kuka, right?
I mean, we are married. We've been married.
The punani.
We've been married 16 years.
Yes.
We have a healthy sex life. We don't mind talking about sex.
It's not healthy necessarily. They know. We've talked all about it. Like, we go through highs and lows like everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's
lulls,
healthy.
Highs and lows. We go through lulls, and then we go through vacation sex. So, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, really.
Healthy doesn't mean you're screwing every day.
Right.
Yeah, but we have a healthy sex life.
And we talk about it. And it's...
Because we're adults.
To me, that is funny. So here's the thing. This is my TikTok.
Your TikTok.
It is my TikTok. It is for me. I think it's funny. I put it out there. If you don't think it's funny, if it offends you, then keep scrolling. And if it offends you to the point where you're like, I don't like her, I don't want to see her stuff, then unfollow. There is an unfollow button. There is a delete button. There is a block. Like, all those things. Do all those things. I don't care. It's not hurting my feelings. And so literally I put this TikTok on there. I didn't think anything else about it. I ended up sharing it, I think, on my Facebook and my stories. I went back and looked. Apparently I didn't put it on my Instagram, which is not unusual because I have so many Instagrams. I have so many.
Did you put it on your Facebook? I don't think you did.
It went on the stories.
Okay.
I never put it on the actual page.
Okay.
And so I have all of these different pages that I manage or have or whatever. And so I forget where I put things. And so I put it on there. I did it on the story, whatever day that was. I didn't think anything more about it. So I happened to just go look at TikTok because I think I was going to make one maybe, or there was one I was trying to send to you or whatnot. And I just happened to see, I went under the inbox, and it says, under the inbox, it shows comments that people have made on your TikToks. Well, people don't normally comment on my TikToks, so I don't really have anything there. So I happened to have a comment, and I was like, whoa, what is this? And so I look at it, and it's from a name that I recognize. And so I go and look at the TikTok comment, and I'm like, oh, hell no. So under this TikTok, this person commented, and do I have
the person commented, my poor niece, this influence. Maybe I'll get my 10 minutes.
Okay, so let's stop here. So this person is Lauren's aunt, okay? Not your sister. This is not your sister.
Right.
This is an aunt on the other side that made this comment on my TikTok. And I just happened then to see it. And I'm like, what in the hell? So first of all, this aunt, Lauren's aunt, I'm not going to say any names. Remain nameless.
But if you happen to go look,
at my
you should
TikTok,
give a like and a follow while you're there.
Absolutely, for sure. And so I'm like, first of all, like, I haven't spoken to this individual, and I bet 10 plus years. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I've actually physically seen her in probably almost as many years. Like, I literally cannot think about the last time I possibly have seen her in person, let alone spoken to this person. And so I'm like, this is so random. First of all, it's just so random. It was so completely random and out of the blue. And I was a little bit like, just kind of taken back, first of all. And then I was like, then it just went all through me. And I'm like, okay, no. So, she's basically saying that I'm a bad influence on Lauren because of this TikTok. Yeah. And I'm like, first of all, grow up. Second of all, Lauren is 20, almost 21 years old. And guess what? Newsflash, she knows about sex. She knows what people do with sex. I'm gonna leave it there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk any
Yeah.
further about sex and Lauren because it's
Well,
just
no, I
like,
mean, because we speak openly about it too. I mean, it's,
yes.
we don't go into like detail or anything like that, but she knows that we have a healthy sex life. And I
And
mean,
we've spoken
yeah,
to her about sex because we already talked about it on the podcast that when she moved in, you know, that was one of the conversations that we felt like we needed to have of, you know, you need to, and first of all, if you're having sex, we need to talk about having safe sex and making sure that you're doing that. You know, are you being protected and making sure about pregnancy and, you know,
respectful and all, yeah.
STDs and then, you know, being treated respectfully and not, you know, not going out and being a hoe, basically. And so obviously we talk about sex and I'm very honest with her. If she has questions about anything whatsoever, I'm going to answer her. It might make it an uncomfortable conversation, but I have put it out there that if either of them have any questions whatsoever, all they have to do is ask. And conversations have come up because of things that her mother has said to her, and so that's caused her to ask us things like about what being swingers. She's like, I don't even know what a swinger is. I'm like, well, we are not, but let me go ahead and tell you what that is. And so we've had these conversations, and that's why I'm just like, this is so completely ridiculous. Plus, like, Lauren doesn't pay attention to my TikTok. Like, she might see my stuff that's on Facebook or Instagram possibly, but I can 100% tell you she doesn't go look at my TikTok. Matter of fact, she had no clue that any of this was going on, which is, you know.
She's dialed in now, though.
Oh, she's dialed in
She's
now.
fully vested
She's
now.
fully vested now. So anyway, that was like I don't know, whatever time it was that evening. And I don't even know. I think I don't know if the comment had just happened or if the comment happened a couple of days before and I was just now seeing it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We went to bed and I'm like, okay, I'm going to marinate on this before I decide if I'm going to make a comment back or if I'm going to, or maybe I made a comment back immediately. I can't remember.
I don't know. I think you did once you realized it. So you came back.
Okay.
So, no, actually, you didn't. She commented 5 days ago, and you commented one day ago. You came back and said, "I know because y'all are the perfect family." Insert all the eye rolls. Eye roll. Eye roll. Eye roll. Hashtag toxic.
Yes. So I either did it that night or did it the next morning. I can't remember. I think it might have been that night. And because I'm like, no, I'm.
So then she comes back
But
and
hold
says,
on. Time out. Because typically, I'm not a confrontational person. Even
"You talk hard, but you're."
I do.
Yeah.
Even on things like TikToks, on Instagram, text messaging. You're like, I am not a confrontational person. I'm going to do everything possible to remove myself from the situation, to avoid the situation. I don't like that. That is not my natural form. I don't enjoy that. But, you know, I was like, no, this is not, no, you're not fixing to do this on my TikTok. No, we're not doing this. And so that's what I responded back. And I left it at that. And I think I'm like, okay, that was like late at night. So I went to bed. And so I woke up the next morning and saw that she had responded to my comment. And so do you want to read what her response was?
She said, "Your hashtag fits you perfectly. I couldn't have said it better."
Yeah.
Meaning you're toxic.
Right, meaning I'm toxic. So, okay. Somehow I don't know how I'm supposed to be toxic, but okay, sure. And so that morning it was still just bothering me. It just got under my skin. It was bothering me. And I was like, what I have practiced the entire time that you and I have been together was kind of turn the other cheek, take the high road. No need to respond. You can't fight with people that won't fight back with you. And I've always told you that. Like, you need to just ignore because that's almost, to me, if you're trying to fight with somebody who just wants to do nothing but fight with you, it makes them more infuriated that you won't fight with them. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of always the route I've chosen to take. And, for the sake of you, for the sake of Lauren, just for the sake of everything, I've always just been about trying to keep the peace, which meant, there's no need to respond. There's no need to respond. I'm not the type of person that's just going to put all kinds of personal business out on Facebook. While I do I don't have a problem being honest about, what's going on in my life. Like if I'm struggling with something, or if we're struggling with something, or, if I'm sad or whatever, I don't try to put just the happy stuff out there. So I try to be real as far as that goes. But in respect to you, the relationship that you had, that it was not easy for Lauren, for the kids, I didn't put that kind of drama on Facebook. I kept that off of there. And that was just the way that I handled it. And so I really had this internal struggle of, that's always how I've done it, to I'm ready to fight back.
Yeah.
And so, but then, in my human design, it says my my strategy is informing, but I have an emotional wave. And so I am supposed to ride these emotions, high emotions, low emotions. I really shouldn't be making judgments or calls or decisions unless I'm kind of even kill, which I think is probably a good, that's obviously, I think, good suggestion for most people. But it's especially important for me to make sure I'm making the right decision. And so I'm like, okay, I'm trying to work with that. And so I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to journal on this. I'm going to, just kind of sit with it and let it roll. And let's just see where I end up, whether or not I'm going to continue and respond back, or if I'm just going to let it go. And so I did that. I journaled on it. I did my daily, my daily meditation and all this stuff. And in that journaling, really what came to me was fuck it. This is how you feel.
Is that what your journal told you?
My journal said, fuck it. My spirit guides, my higher self, the universe said to me, Annie, fuck it. Burn it down. And so that's what I decided to do.
So I find it interesting you say that your human design tells you should ride these emotions, and I guess before you make a decision or talk about it, you should kind of be in a level field. Like, I guess that's possible. I mean, it's probably why, if we get into a fight or something's bothering you, you rarely lash out. It's normally you shut down. And your shutdown normally takes, let's just call it on average, 2.35 days.
Right.
But then by the time you're done with that, then you typically will come and kind of be level-headed and stuff like that. So that kind of tracks with what you're saying.
Right. And I didn't necessarily know that I probably was working with my, my strategy at that particular point in time. I mean, it happens to be that I was. But yeah, for me to be rational about things, I have to kind of move past that extreme anger that I will get, because I get very angry.
Yeah. So I'll say that, like, what people put on this, I'm speaking for me, what I will put on TikTok is going to be different than what I'm going to put on Facebook. Now, a lot of times it's crossover and stuff like that. But if I'm going to do anything that's racy or risque or whatever, I'm going to be much more inclined to do it on TikTok than I am Facebook. Because the following is completely different.
Exactly.
I'm not seeing the same people like here in town, whatever the case may be. So the fact that you put it on TikTok and not Facebook, like normal post or whatever, I think it's kind of one thing. But then it's just like, it's what caused that person to not just scroll? Like, what caused them to say, okay, I got to step in here and say something?
Yeah, I feel real certain. So the views on this particular TikTok were very low. So the likelihood that I was recommended to this person's FYP is highly unlikely. Chances are this person had to actually go
search your name,
view my profile. Yeah. And when I looked at the analytics on this, it was like X amount of followers, X amount of non-followers, profile views. What keywords were searched in this particular video? The word Annie Kilco was searched. Okay, come on. You were only searching Annie Kilco if you know Annie Kilco. Like, that's, so it just shows me that this person specifically sought this out to go see this particular thing.
Yeah. And, but I guess I just wonder too, like, what in her mind makes this video in particular toxic to Lauren, for example? You know what I'm saying? Like it just, I don't know. So then anyway, some other people that we know.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
So let me answer that question. So Nothing, honestly. No, Lauren is almost 21 years
Yeah.
old, okay? She has been exposed to a lot of things. And even if she had not been exposed to a lot of things, at 21, you really probably should be at
Yeah.
that point. Now,
Yeah.
if Lauren were 12 years old, would I be making this TikTok? Probably not. Or if I was, would I be making sure that my young kids that aren't supposed to have these particular socials not be able to see it? Yeah, but I didn't do those type of things when the kids were little. One, we didn't have that, I suppose, functionality, but two, that's just not something that I would have felt like doing. I probably wouldn't have had time to do, whatever. My kids are old. My kids, I even though Lauren is here, and yes, we are helping guide her through like this time of life and trying to get her, where she needs to go for the next step. Essentially, I feel as though I'm an empty nester. My kids are adult kids, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that means they can see adult things. If they don't want to see their mom, their stepmom doing these types of things, they don't have to look at it. They don't have to look at it. It has nothing to do with them. So, anybody that thinks that's toxic, then that person is not for me.
Yeah.
Don't follow me. Don't follow me. Don't like me.
Don't come on my page.
Don't come on my page.
Yeah.
Don't follow me on Facebook. Don't be friends with me. That's fine. It is not hurting my feelings at all, because we all do have different, morals about what's right and what's wrong and blah, 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 blah. Do I think this TikTok makes me a bad person or a bad influence? No, I don't. But if you are like highly offended by it, by all means, be highly offended. Go be highly offended somewhere else.
Yeah.
Don't follow me.
Well, and I'll tell you what your journal told you is fuck it. Because I think that, like honestly, like the older we get, I mean, that's 49-year-old energy. You know what I mean? That's 49-year-old. I don't give a fuck energy. Because, I feel like the older I've gotten, I feel like the more considerate I've gotten. I feel like the more generous I've gotten, the more loving I've gotten. But also, the more, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
I have worried about, my opinions, people's opinions, or, my, what's the word I'm looking for? Why can't I ever find my words anymore?
I don't know.
I'm not holding my crystal,
It's
that's
got to
why.
be perimenopause. Gotta be.
I need my crystal.
Do not show those on camera.
I'm just not, I am in my 49th. We determined, I guess I'm living my 50th year, but I'm technically 49 years old. I am in my I don't give a fuck era. If I'm not for you, then I am not for you. Move on. It does not hurt my feelings at all.
Yeah.
Because this is who I am at this stage in the game, and I love it. I love that I am not afraid to do these type of things, and I really wish that more people felt that way. So when I say my journal said, fuck it, burn it down.
We didn't
for
really
me,
mean burn anything down. No.
Not really, but what I decided to do, because, so here's the backstory too. This behavior from Lauren's
side,
that side of the family, has always been bullying, toxic, talk about you. I have heard it for the entire time that I've been with you from other people about this has been said about you, and this has been said about Jackson, and this is what's said about Kent. I've seen text messages. All of these things. And so
all the while acting like no one says any of that stuff.
Exactly. And if you see them in person, they act like they're your best friend. I'm not about that life. And so, and it's the whole, just like with the conversation we had around Lauren and that Christmas dress, when, you received a phone call from the spouse saying we don't air our dirty laundry. Fuck that. I'm done. That's what I'm really done with. So what I did is then I responded to her. I responded, and I thought my response was very cutesy, because
thank you for the follows.
Thank you for the follows and the continued comments. It really helps my analytics, and I did like clappies and sparkles or heart or something like that. So I thought that was a very cutesy comeback, and I left it at that. I didn't respond any further, and so I took screenshots of that and I decided to put it on my Facebook and Instagram stories. And so I took her comment with her name because it's there. I'm like, you know what? If you want to be big and bad and bold on TikTok, then honey, I'm going to let you be big and bad and bold on my Instagram and my Facebook stories. Because it means she said it. I hope I get my 10 minutes. I put, well, honey, here's your 10 minutes. That's what I put in my Facebook or my Instagram story. And so I actually
Made it big for us old people.
I did. So the first time I posted the TikTok, I posted the comments, I put an arrow to her comment, and I wrote, here's the thing. I'm 49 years old and I've been married for 16 years. I have a healthy sex life, and I talk about that on the podcast. If I want to make videos that I think are funny, I'm going to. Do I think this makes me a bad influence? No. I'm in my IDGAF era. And what I'm not going to continue doing is to pretend like this behavior hasn't continued to happen the entire time I've been married. But I take the high road and I don't respond and I don't, in quotations, air the dirty laundry. But I'm not doing that anymore. So all the shit you want to talk or send me or comment, just know that I'm airing it all. So you want your 10 minutes, honey? Here it is. Let's not just let TikTok know how toxic you and your family are, but let's let all social media know. So that was the first story I did. And then I followed it up with, what did I follow it up with? So then I followed it up with the exact same post. And this time I put, here's the link to the TikTok video so you can go see the comments in the video here yourself. And then I made the next one the exact same thing, except I made it bigger. And I said, and here's my thoughts on it, and in bigger font. If you're my age, you need this, because that is true. I can't read this small font anymore. And so anyway, I thought that was all very funny, but to me, that was burning it down. Like for me, it was very bold because I've never shared any of that anywhere. Like if I've gotten I have text messages. Do you remember the text message, I'll call it argument, that the three of us got into while I had the store? I have all those text messages, and I've never done anything with them, but that's what people call receipts these days, and I have them, and I'm not going to post those unless I absolutely need to for some reason, but I have that. But I'm done with this. I'm done with this pretending like in public everything is fine. If you are that bold and you want to make these type of comments to me, to you,
on
to
your
Lauren,
page,
on my page, on your page, on her, whatever, then I'm gonna blast it. I am all about that.
Yeah.
So watch out.
Yeah.
So that's the energy it gave me, and I don't like that energy, but also like it needed to be put out there. It needed to be done.
Well, I agree it did. I don't like you to have that energy either, only because it's can
negative,
get all
right.
First of all, it's negative. It can be all consuming, and it could maybe last a little while. But I do like the fact that you kind of put your foot down and said, look, we're not doing this shit anymore. You know what I'm saying? I've done this for 16, 17 years, whatever.
Way too long.
Way too long.
And I'm way too old.
And you're too old. Lauren's an adult. Lauren's not 18 years old anymore. So it's different. I mean, it was almost like, both you and I have Lauren's mom blocked, so the communication can't come to us anymore.
Right.
So it was almost like her aunt was trying to find a
way
a
in.
loophole or something, just to come in and start shit.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, like, and Lauren even said, like, for the last 2 years, I mean, it's been pretty damn peaceful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And between us and the other side's been peaceful because there's no communication, and then with Lauren and her mind, it's been relatively peaceful. So it's like, man, like, it's almost you just can't go that long without something being said or something being done. It's like, it's not necessary.
It's not
especially
necessary.
from an aunt. Like, this is not your fight, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
No, and then to act like, oh my God, my poor niece. Listen, heifer.
And then it was so then there was some trash talking by some people that we know, and then it turned into the whole her saying, Listen, there's only one person that I have to answer to talking about God, which
Right.
I agree with that sentiment, but like that's your argument, bro. Come on, like
Yeah, I
it's
got news for you.
you
God don't like ugly.
he doesn't like ugly. He doesn't like jealousy. He doesn't like envy. I mean, he doesn't like any of these.
It just is the it's the face that is put on that I have concern for my niece. I'm sorry, the niece that when's the last time you spoke to her?
Yeah.
Oh, probably Christmas. And what was it? You tried to snatch her phone out of her hand at 20 years old because you wanted to catch her doing something wrong. Like, you have no concern for her.
Yeah.
Zero. And so I think that was the other thing that kind of went through me of it's that pretend of we care, and you don't care. What you care about is what other people think. You don't actually care about this person. And so I'm like, and of course, so Lauren, she knows all about it. She's seen all of it. And it's quite like,
She's vested.
oh gosh, she's vested. And so anyway, it was drama.
But
It was
we
just
did.
unnecessary.
But you did do what you have been doing with Lauren, and what do you think about this? What are your thoughts on it? Can
Yeah.
we talk? Just to make sure
Absolutely.
that you kind of understand where she's at, because you've said it before. Like, you never want to do anything or say anything or put anything out there that's going to jeopardize her or make her feel
Correct.
uncomfortable or anything like that.
And
So
and Jackson and Ashley too. I mean, Jackson had sent me a message before I went to bed about the whole thing, and kind of I got your back, mom, or whatever. But like, I'm not jumping into this, and I'm like, I wouldn't expect you to, son. Like, this is not for
I didn't jump
you.
into it either.
And as you should not. And I'm like, and just reiterated to him, and I sent something separately to Ashley, like, listen, I don't ever want to do anything that is going to be an issue or cause an issue for you guys. So if there is in fact something that bothers you, you guys, all you have to do is tell me, and we'll figure that out. So said that to both of them and to Lauren and to you as well. Like, I don't want to do anything that is going to cause issues for business. I'm all about that. I'm all about us supporting small businesses and supporting the people that that we know that are in business, and ourselves, and I would never do anything to jeopardize that perception. So it is very important, but it was a fine line, and it was really, I really struggled with that, and it kind of felt like I'm finally standing up for myself, and I feel like it felt great, and so I'm like, this is me, and this is what I'm going to do from here on out. So if that's the outcome that you like, then keep pushing, keep doing it, because I'm going to keep talking about it on the podcast, and I'm going to keep blasting it on social media everywhere, because I'm not standing down anymore.
Well, can we change subjects? Because I do want
Yes.
to talk about something else, and we didn't talk about this ahead of time, so I hope that this is
It's going to throw me for a loop here.
No, but you said something just in general that I think probably meant a lot more to me than you realize it did, and I was in my home office. You were at the table eating lunch or something like that, and you had kind of and this, I don't know,
I
not
know what
related
you're
to this
say.
story at all. So, but the night before, maybe even that day, we had spent a large amount of time talking with Lauren about studying, preparing for the TEAS test, the program she's trying to get into, all this other stuff. And if you've ever had that conversation with Lauren, sometimes it can be challenging because you don't really know where her head's at. You don't know what she's thinking, blah, blah, blah. And I think even at one point, Lauren started to get a little emotional because I think that there was this weight that she was carrying, like trying to prepare for this TEAS test, and just really didn't know what to do. And it just seemed overwhelming. So I think that you kind of throwing a life raft.
My spidey senses were tingling. Yes, my mother's parents' intuition was telling me something's not quite right. Something's not quite right. she says she's going to study. She says she's going to study. Like, I don't think she understands and has a good plan. And I'm going to, like,
And this happens with a lot of
it
people. Yeah.
does. Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of kids that,
I think a lot of adults that try to study for
yes,
insurance and real estate and all these other things.
all
It's a
kinds
real
of things in
struggle.
life,
Yeah.
all kinds of things in life that, you're carrying that you're afraid to have conversations with people about. And, if you can have that intuition and feel that somebody is doing that and kind of start this conversation with them, it opens that up. And a lot of times you just see just relief, like
Yeah.
a physical,
So you guys, I think, got a real plan together. You searched online for some different programs to try to figure out what's going to work best for her and all this other stuff. So, and I will say that you have a way of talking to Lauren that's different than the way that I talk to Lauren. And I tend to be more solution based, more direct, and I think sometimes you tend to like to ask the right questions to really try to get it, what's going to help her or whatever. But anyhow, so we kind of fast forward through that conversation. I feel like we got a pretty good plan together, and since then, over the last few days, I think she's done a really good job with it. But anyways, you said something. You said I was in my office. You were eating or something. You said, "Oh, I got a little emotional there," and I was like, I wasn't even paying attention to what you were doing. I was like, "What did you get emotional
I
about?"
know you're making my eyes water a little bit right now.
And you said, I've been trying to figure out what my purpose is. And I'm wondering if my purpose was to be able to be here in this minute right now to help Lauren figure this stuff out and help her get through this tease and help her get into the program and help. And so I want to tell you that that might be your purpose. And if it's not your purpose, then make it your purpose. But I appreciate you for that. I don't I don't have the capacity to do that right now. Uh, and if you do have the capacity to do it and you make it a priority, which it's clear to me that you are, like that is more valuable to me than anything else that you can do. And so she's not going to say thank you because that's not the way she is, but I know that she appreciates it and I appreciate it. And, if it means that for the next year, you're really kind of helping facilitate a lot of this stuff and like it means the world to me. So I
Well, I
appreciate
appreciate
that.
that.
And
I yeah, she's not the best about saying thank you. We're not really trying to work on that. We do point that out to her, but I can tell just in how she is very she loves to tell us all her plans. Like she is a planner. And so, we set this plan in motion. I tried to work with what works best for her. Let's figure out somebody that will resonate with you, that you can understand what they're teaching and it makes sense to you. And like let's talk about like how do you best study? Like for me, I need to like read it, write it down,
poor girl was
say it
writing
out
down
loud.
every
Oh
single
my God,
word.
yeah.
There was like an hour long video.
But I mean, it was true.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
was almost like I felt like watching her go through these classes. I'm like, okay, I feel like she has a good grasp on how she best studies because, at the beginning when she started school, like she would come down and do her homework at the counter.
Yeah.
And she would bring a notebook and she would have all the, several different color pens and like it was like overkill,
Yeah.
but I get it. That's the way for some people their brains work. They need to do things in different colors and this and that, whatever. And so, seeing her do that, I was like, okay, I think she's kind of got this. But in this conversation, I realized she's not 100% sure how she should be studying for this. And that in itself, produces a block for somebody to even get started studying. And that's, I really think, probably what we found is she got excited. She got that tease book. She took the first test and realized how she did. And she's like, okay, I know I need to study. But then it was like, but I'm not really sure how to study or where to study or how to make myself study or whatever.
And again, if you've never taken a state administrative exam outside the SAT, you don't know how to. And that's why they have these courses and these books. And so anyways, the first kind of practice quiz she took or whatever, I think she scored like a 60 something. Well, then she retook part of it yesterday and came back and was happy to show us it was like an 80,
after she had gone through
89
these
or an 86 or
videos,
something. Yeah.
and it took her a very long time to get through that first
Yeah.
video, but I gave her, we just really, I'm trying to break it down into real small chunks.
Yeah.
And let's not worry. She keeps worrying
She
about
comes
this.
down today and said, so I have studied for 2 hours and 24 minutes. I'm going to take a break. And I'm like, most people would just say 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
She said, I've studied for 2 hours and 24 minutes. And
Well, because, her work schedule, it's just very, on again, off again.
Yeah.
And so this week she had 4 solid days off. And I'm like,
you've got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, you're coming up on this test and you are not ready. We have got to make a plan. And so I feel good with the time that she has spent this week. It has been very productive, I feel like. I do think that she is grasping the information. And so, what I told you is now I need you to kind of play manager role with me and keep me focused so that I can help keep her focused. Because, I will lose focus quickly. And she definitely needs that. She needs this constant. I mean, it really was. I'm like, don't make any other plans. And we've talked about you're an adult. You get to, I kind of want to whisper this because I don't want her to hear this part. But I'm like, you're an adult. Like, I can't really tell you can't go do this or can't do that. But when it comes down to it, yeah, I can tell you that. Like, you're living in my house. These are my rules. You're planning on taking this test. This is
we have to have
important.
some kind of exit strategy. So,
exactly. And this is your exit strategy. And this is my exit strategy. Like, I need you to get up out of this house before you're 25. And this is how we're going to make it happen. Yeah. So, So I felt very good about that because I know that you don't necessarily, that you two are so alike, and it's because you're her actual parent that you butt heads in that way sometimes. Like you
and Jackson were the same way.
And Jackson and I are the same way. And, I am able to, it's just she said it the other day, like she has a little bit of fear of me. And that's just the way, and that's the way it is with parents. Like with you, she doesn't really have that healthy fear. Like if you were to really get pissed off, I'm sure, yes. But just in general, every day, she's like, yeah, he doesn't really mean it. But when Annie says it, Annie means it, kind of thing. And so I have a little bit of that edge that I can use to my advantage to kind of get things on track when it comes to this stuff. And so, last week I was going to lunch with Terry, and she had sort of inviting herself because you ended up not being able to go to lunch with her. You typically kind of do that, and you couldn't go for whatever reason. And I was like, well, we'll go sometime. And then, she wanted to go with me and Terry, and I'm like, I need a little bit of alone time. Let me have this with Terry, but you and I will go this week. And so I told her we'll go on Thursday to lunch, and of course she's like,
which is tomorrow, by the way.
Yes.
Which she'll remind you. So.
She's like Sunday night. Okay, when are we going to lunch? Monday. Oh, when are we going to? I said, okay, I'm gonna get my planner out. I've written it on my planner. It is on Thursday. That's when we're going. Do not ask me again. But I've decided that also what we're gonna start. I'm gonna do this lunch regularly. I don't know if it'll be every week, but maybe at least every other week. And I really want to. We're going to have it's going to be a little bit of a meeting. It's going to be a lunch meeting, and we're going to start talking about finances because we have determined when we were talking to her at dinner that she's not grasping the concept of like a credit card. So, a year ago we had decided that she needed to start building her credit. Like that's important, right? And
because we learned through Jackson that like a credit score is one thing,
right.
And you want a good credit score, but if you don't have credit, the credit score when you go to buy a car, when you go to, you still have to have established credit, not just a credit score.
Correct.
So that's where we started.
Correct. So we were like, okay,
we learned that through Jackson.
Exactly. So I'm like, okay, well, we need to start working on this with Lauren, and she applied for one credit card and was declined or whatever, which makes sense because she has zero credit history, and so we found this Chime. And you probably are starting to hear commercials about it or already know about it. But anyway, I started hearing about it on some of the podcasts that I listen to. They're starting to run commercials, and I'm seeing it on TV as well. And so we had gotten this card for her, applied for this about almost a year ago.
Okay.
Do we need to pause?
No, we're good.
Okay. And the purpose of the Chime Builder card is it acts like a debit card, but yet it will report as a credit card. So it will give her an actual credit score, and it says that it will build her credit history. Now, we've not pulled an actual credit report, so does it? I don't know. Is it actually reporting payments made? I'm not sure, but it is giving her a credit score. And so the way this thing works is that you deposit money into it and you basically use it like a debit card, and it pretty much just puts that money on like a freeze so that you can't keep spending or spend more than you have in there. And then at the time of month when that payment is due, it just pulls it all and pays it for you. Essentially,
So it's kind of
it
like,
takes the money it was kind of holding for you, and then pays it on that bill
so it
basically.
treats it like it's a debit card for as far as money, but then gets the benefit of it being a credit card to actually
Correct.
help you build credit.
So we had her get that Chime card a year ago, and so she's got that. She's got a regular bank account, and but I'm still just like, I'm not 100% sure that you are managing your money, and we definitely though. In talking to her, she's like, I still don't know if I'm 100% sure that I want a credit card. And we're like, well, what are you talking about? First of all, we never said get a credit card. And then she's like, remember you said I should have this Chime card for a year and then I should get a credit card. And I'm like, well, I mean, I kind of said that was maybe the plan at the time.
But that was also before we really knew what Chime was and
Right.
how it worked and
Exactly.
all that. Yeah.
And so we're talking through this whole credit card thing. And as we're talking to her, we realize that she's like, I'm not sure I understand with the credit card. Like, I don't know that I want to get that because Chime, like, they just pay it for me. And I'm like, no, but they're not really just paying it for you. Like, I
So anyhow, you're gonna have these lunches with her.
I'm going to try to, but I'm
Yeah.
not really sure how I'm going to get through because this conversation, we went round and
Well,
round
I
about that.
think what you need to do is actually get her to print up her statement. Now you ask her, she's in that app. I mean, she gets to the app
Yeah.
so quick. But I think you're gonna have to print it out and like visually kind of draw some of this stuff out for her and kind of this moved here, this moved here. I think that's really the only way that she's gonna have to. And then it's just a matter of repetition at that
Right.
point
Because I don't want her, like, I'm not just throwing her out at that point in time whenever that comes and her being able to try to figure this out. Like, this is stuff that they don't teach in schools that we need to go over and figure out. And nobody else is going to do it for her. So,
But anyhow, I say all that to say I appreciate you. I appreciate you helping her through this. I appreciate what you've done over the last couple of years, honestly. And I appreciate kind of what I know that you're going to do over the next couple of years to help get her moving in the right direction. So it means a lot to me, and this may very well be your purpose and why you are now in a place where you're able to do this kind of
yeah,
thing. So.
I mean, it may be. So, if you guys out there are struggling with things like this with your kids, send them to me. I'll open a what's the name of that thing that they do, like tutoring and stuff like that. I'll open my own little one like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Chime Builder I do highly recommend if you uh-oh